Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. The stock itself has gotten a rocky start to the new year along with overall markets, but also there are some folks out there still thinking Palantir will have a good 2024. So looking at the stock first, Palantir is hovering around the low 16s as of this recording. I know in the pre-market today actually it touched into the 15s, but at least for the market hours today hung around this price point going as low as $16.01. And as mentioned earlier, this is in line with overall markets being red to open the new year, so we'll see how this price action plays out throughout the whole new year of 2024. Now, while also talking about the broader markets and indices, the Fed's minutes for December were released, and the major headline we all heard were rate cuts likely to come in 2024, maybe around 3, but the path of when and how is still uncertain. So as noted in the Fed minutes, the change in tone is really pushed by supply chain factors that seem to have eased in comparison to mid-2022 that was causing that inflation. And this is also taking into account the labor markets balancing this out, right? If you see a huge uptick in unemployment, it'd be a sign of being too aggressive, but we haven't actually seen that. But still, the main theme is still uncertainty around this for the whole meeting. So I'll wait and see before I actually believe it in myself in those rate cuts actually occurring here, because if something changes in the inflation data, this can completely flip the tone of the Fed, albeit the trend seems to be in the rate cut direction. Now, this also doesn't change some folks' minds on what Palantir can do. The Schwab Network also put a video out last night and had Achilles Larrea, who believes the rally fundamentals are still there for tech, with Microsoft and AI as the overall narrative here pushing that. So when talking about Palantir for a few minutes, he expects an 18 to 20% increase for Palantir, and saying this conservatively from his perspective. And he points out the potential of use cases that seems to be widespread, as well as the focus on private and security markets being served by them. So although they like Palantir though, they do note they are still accumulating Palantir at a limited basis just due to its higher valuation. So they believe it's a long-term play, so which I think is consistent with a lot of retail sentiment, regardless of its current valuation right now. Now, on the technical side too, they also commented on Schwab Network on the short-term weakness, which we are still seeing continue today. So what's really noteworthy, although, is still to see if more of these opinions become more widespread, as Palantir is being recognized in the mainstream media. But remember, this can always change at the flip of a switch. So my personal take on all of these are that it's just another person's opinion still. Now, if Palantir does 18 to 20% this year, that'd be nice, of course, from these levels. But what I really care about is the actual underlying business fundamentals justifying these price movements, or will it just be excitement around the narrative here? So I'd prefer the first one, of course, just because we can start to project out more realistically if we actually see a confirmed surge in their customer accounts from next earnings, and then possibly having that flow into inklings of revenue growth that we so desperately want to be growing at least above 20% minimum for the next few quarters. But that's the big risk here with Palantir, is execution and getting those results. We have these great clients and partnerships and real excitement around their product and boot camps, but that final piece is actually getting that on the official record when earnings come out. So 2024, in my opinion, will be a big year for Palantir to prove itself. The numbers can start flowing into their statements here. But if that shows up for Q4 2023 earnings, I'm not sure, honestly, for myself, but definitely in the latter part of this year, I'd expect this here, and expectations will be high, I believe, from the overall markets. And this is all in the possible macro environment that we noted with the Fed that could help propel them if rates start to come down and equity markets start to see inflows because of that. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.